Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I want to talk to you guys about another rather controversial ending that we had at the end of the 5th chapter of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, which is the scene at the end where we had Sarada making those big doe eyes at Boruto before she ran crying into his arms, and the two of them shared a warm embrace as Boruto basically told her, I'm finally home now. And the third party in this whole situation was Sumire, who was left standing speechless, watching as the whole scene unfolded, and it's led to a ton of debates in the pairing war side of the fandom. The Boruto fans are on one side drawing the battle lines, are standing on business, and they're saying, we want all the smoke, you boys got the smoke detectors. The Boruto Sumire fans and the Kawaki Sarada fans are joining in a mutual alliance, saying they suddenly have fear that their ship isn't just no longer sailing, but it's getting nuked faster than Code lost his respect as a villain after getting his limiters removed. That's why in today's video, I wanted to run the risk of kicking the hornet's nest here and weigh in on the pairing debates that we have and give my thoughts on why this may or may not be a big moment and actually par for the course of how we do things here on the channel. I'm very liable to get a thumbnail art drawn that will probably irritate Kawaki or Sumire fans depending on who I decide to troll first now that this chapter's been coming out, but I'm leaning towards Sumire right now if I'm being honest with you, so you've been warned. The ending of the chapter brought up a big storm in the community because people are looking at this saying that this confirms that Sarada is in love with Boruto. The argument being made is that this is clearly a hug that was something deeper than a hug between friends or friends who view themselves as being siblings. They say that Sarada had already just seen Boruto prior to this and she knew that Boruto was still alive, and they point to the way that she runs into Boruto's arms as consistent with how we've seen female romantic love interests run into the arms of their counterpart, with Sarada clearly running and practically jumping into Boruto's arms, doing so at an angle with her eyes closed and leaning into him. They point out that this is different from the moment after the pain arc where Sakura walked up and she hugged Naruto, because Sarada is shown leaning directly into Boruto, and I've got to give Ikimoto his flowers here. So longtime viewers of the channel, you know that I've been highly critical of Ikimoto in the past, particularly with him blowing through scenes instead of slowing them down to capture the moment in full. Which, side note, that's what a review's for. It's not just to recap what happened, it's actually give you analysis. Those panels on the bottom page where you see Boruto's face looking down at Sarada, then you see his hands hesitate to wrap around her, and then you see his face soften at the last panel. It might be some of the most beautiful flow that Ikimoto has done in the 7 going on 8 years that he's drawn Boruto's manga, since as of this recording we're almost in 2024, which would make 8 years. The Boruto Sarada fans, they are saying that this is reason 991 that Boruto and Sarada, they are destined to be together because of how emotional this entire scene was and how someone like Sarada is making herself vulnerable to Boruto in this moment, which for the most part Sarada has always been written as someone who is, yes, emotional, but also someone who doesn't let down her walls all the way. Yet here she does so for Boruto. When I first saw this scene personally, it made me think back to the moment in Naruto Volume 20, in particular chapter 172, where you see Sakura leaning into Sasuke as she's overcome with emotion and relief as she's hugging Sasuke, with a major difference being Sarada's head is actually resting directly on Boruto's heart depending on the angle that you use. This whole scene reeks of something that Kishimoto would do in Naruto, which is that for certain scenes, in particular important impact shots such as this, he'd use anticipation panels to guide your eyes to that big reveal like this, and then he would show it from multiple different angles. Most of the time it will be between 3 and 5 different angles, which is exactly what we got here. Angle 1 is when Boruto is hugged by Sarada and we have the overhead shot where she's hugging him and you see the Uchiha crest on her back. Angle 2 is of the hug from the side where we see Sarada has leaned completely into Boruto as she's hugging him. Angle 3 being where we see the scene from Boruto's back as Sarada's telling him that he's late. Angle 4 being where we see the scene from Sarada's back and the crest showing as Boruto begins to wrap his arms around her. Angle 5 being the aerial shot of Boruto's arms fully around Sarada saying that he's home now. multiple pages staying in the moment for this scene, which are storyboarded in a way that is going to make the anime staff at Studio Pierrot their job a whole lot easier once Boruto's anime likely picks up its production again in 2025. That entire scene, it has a lot of weight to it, especially when you consider the fact that Sarada is the first person who has made Boruto smile since the day that Sasuke got turned into a tree. The chapter started with Boruto having hope and smiling and laughing with Sasuke as they rested from their training. The chapter ends off with Boruto smiling for the first time since he's been back in Konoha. It is a tired smile, one that we as readers know carries a lot of weight to it because of everything Boruto's had to endure in order to get to this moment, as well as the knowledge that he's going to have to explain to Sarada what it is he meant when he said that Sasuke used his life to save him. But Sarada, being the one who made him smile, no matter how weakly that smile was, no matter how brief that smile was, it isn't something people can just turn a blind eye to. Between this and Chocho in the Boruto Academy novel telling Sarada that her eyes light up whenever Sarada is around Boruto or she's speaking about Boruto, which the Boruto Academy novels are written by the first writer for Boruto, Ukyo Kodachi, and the Boruto movie novel, also written by Ukyo Kodachi, has it say that Boruto feels jealous and weird that boys in his age group are starting to find Sarada attractive, and he has a sense to be close to her. And the scene where Sarada is biting down on her glasses when she's thinking about Boruto in the Mujina Bandits arc, which was also written by Ukyo Kodachi, and Mitsuki calling out Sarada in chapter 69 for her feelings for Boruto. The Boruto fans are ready to start a war, maybe even finish the war depending on which side of the argument you're on. Now, there are Sumire fans who are upset that she was just left standing there while all this went on, with them being mad that she was technically the first one to see Boruto when he reappeared, because when Boruto says nah, she's the one who turns her eyes first to see him, and they feel like she's just standing there with her hands at her side, then getting the close-up look at her face. They say it was disrespectful towards her because they feel like she's being set up to be Boruto's Hinata. As Kishimoto himself said at New York Comic Con 2015, he made the decision at the middle of the story of Naruto to put Naruto and Hinata together because, quote, Hinata always supported and acknowledged Naruto even before Master Iruka. I think I started to realize they were meant to be, end quote, when he was asked what towards the middle of the story sealed the decision for all the pairings for him. The Sumire fans, they point to it being a similar situation. Hinata was always so open, even if it was just with body language about her love for Naruto. Sumire hasn't just openly said that she likes Boruto, which she did in the manga when she told Sarada as much, and that it made her feel uncomfortable that other girls might like Boruto, but characters like Amato and Kawaki and Katasuke, they've all called her out on her feelings of Boruto as well, with Katasuke pretty much saying in the manga it wasn't exactly an open secret that Sumire liked Boruto. They say a moment like this is setting Sumire up to be alone, to be a cat lady, and be unrewarded for her bravery and speaking her feelings to Boruto directly, and all the subtle hints in the story and all the characters weighing in for her feelings to Boruto directly, basically saying it sends the wrong message to all the young girls out there who might be reading Boruto's story and letting them know that speaking out your feelings, it doesn't always get rewarded as being bravery. To which I would say, even though I personally don't care about the shippings, just because you confess your love to somebody doesn't necessarily mean that they reciprocate it. Sometimes life is cruel like that. However, essentially, they are saying they think that she's been C-worded, which I can't say the word specifically because of YouTube's terms of service, because I don't want my channel demonetized, but it's the word that you associate with a certain chair in a motel room that a third wheel watching an intimate act between two people that is occurring and that person sits in it, or it's Will Smith realizing that his wife Jada loves Tupac, a dead man who she loves more than him, and the word that starts with a C just happens to rhyme with the word duck. I don't think we can go that far as to describe the Sumire decision and situation like that, even though I'll probably have her sitting on that oh so special chair for the thumbnail for the video while Boruto and Sarada are kissing, which shouts out to the subscriber who gave me the idea for that thumbnail on Twitter. That's the beauty of doing custom art for thumbnails. I can troll in ways that you have no idea. I kind of feel like people are overreacting here, but I will say again, the whole scene does remind me of Naruto Volume 20, where Naruto was shown making that hurt expression when he saw Sakura hugging Sasuke. You guys know my whole stance on this whole pairing war thing. I will talk about it because a lot of you guys care about it, and the numbers for the views and the retention, it does not lie, in particular the retention. On my KRYPTONIAN SAIYAN channel, what if Naruto married Sakura got 785,000 views? On Naruto Explained, the exact same video did 1.4 million views. What if Sasuke married Hinata did 100,000 views? Every sign Boruto loves Sarada did 65,000 views. Every sign Kawaki loves Sarada did 57,000 views. Will Sarada fall in love with Boruto did 147,000 views. All of those videos have high retention, over 65%, bordering on 70%. So, I mean, you guys clearly care about the pairing wars. The data says as much, which is why you should be on the lookout for every sign Boruto and Sumire in love, because I've been putting this one off due to all the freaking death threats that I got over Boruto Sara and Kawaki Sarada video dropping back to back a couple of years ago. Like, holy, you guys are mega passionate about these pairings. No need to jump down my throat for taking an impartial stance on those videos. Had me feeling like Cody Rhodes did at WrestleMania, like I was never gonna finish the story. Whoa! Wrestling fans will catch that reference.